against the Golden Guardians is the one that looks the most practiced. So the Windwalker Death Knight with the Paladin or the Shaman, I think is going to be a great answer. Golden Guardians, I wonder if they have invested a lot of time in the Retribution Paladin BM Hunter, if that's something that they're going to try to implement here in the blind pick. We don't really have to wait much longer to guess, and that is what they're going to go with. So the Ret BM Hunter, Holy Priest for the Golden Guardians. This is kind of like their cleave answer, it seems like. OTK, they're locking in their bread and butter, and I do think this is one of those matchups that could go either way, but I just have to favor OTK on this one.
Jelly Beans heard your chanting, Zico.
Jelly Beans. All right, he's gonna bring it in here for game number 1. The gates are open. We got OTK versus Golden Guardians, ladies and gentlemen. This is an elimination series. The loser of this will be going home in 4th place. Winner will have to face whoever loses between Cloud9 and Method NA. So not gonna be the greatest spot, but of course better than being eliminated. Let's see who it's gonna be here. Mez already using that anti-magic zone. Trill already taking a lot of damage there. Saved by the Light already proccing. Jelly Beans gonna be the target of choice, and Jelly Beans on that hunter is so slippery. He is one of the best hunters, period. This guy is doing work for his team, and right now he is taking quite a lot of damage, but Absturge backing him up with mind control, gets paralyzed. Cedar's pushing in for the blinding light. He gets it. Jelly Beans building some distance here. Whiskey as well with good backup here. Has those off healings with that Word of Glory if Jelly Beans needs it. Now Absturge leaving crowd control. Golden Guardians look to get aggressive.
Let's see what they can do here. Sidu's taking a lot of redirected damage, but a triple dragon from downtown. Mez hits the whole team almost all of the time. And look at this damage right now that Absturge has to deal with. He's got Apotheosis, so his healing's going to be quite high. Good trade by Absturge, flexing off that Shaman to Holy Priest and dealing with the advances of OTK. Now good damage onto Trill. Sidu, are you ready for it? Big Divine Favor comes in. Good recovery from Sidu. Both healers playing, alternate healers than what we would imagine, as they've been playing Shamans for so long. They're going to be really put to the test here. Jelly Beans has been on the back foot, but we see triple crowd control engagement. That's clean setup. That is beautiful by the Golden Guardians. If they do that repeatedly here in game 1, I think they've got it.
Yeah, I think so far it is looking good. 2 minutes into the game. Big
though.
leg sweep though on Jelly Beans. Can they turn it around? They do get the aspect of the turtle out of the way. WizK still taking a bunch of damage. Absturge has to throw out a lot of mana to keep them alive, and he's still not stable. Looking to move away, reposition away from Mez, reposition away from Trill. If they get a triple grip again, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. Guardian Angel comes in from Absturge. Huge heals, top off Jelly Beans with such a back and forth game. A very volatile matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, Jelly Beans still not able to build any distance right now, but he's keeping up the pressure right now. That Roar of Sacrifice negating a lot of the damage, but that's going to be fading right now. Absturge does have a Serenity charge if Jelly Beans drops too low, and it looks like mana is completely tied here between both healers. The big story here is that Jelly Beans has no trinket. He used that human racial earlier on when he used his aspect of the turtle. So now when he gets stand up, actually, no, he gets, did he get this spell there? I'm not sure actually what Absturge did there to get him out, but Jelly Beans going to be completely fine there in that dangerous situation. Trill now going to be the one taking the damage. Trill porting away here. Sidu gets stunned up there on his Divine Favor, forced to trade out his trinket right there. Good pressure here from the Golden Guardians as they look to aggress forward, Sid.
Yeah, WizK doing a lot of pressure, but now Jelly Beans in trouble. Good disengage by Jelly Beans on that death grip, repositioning away from Absturge, but Mez goes for the dragon, landing the double regardless. This is massive damage, knockback grip onto Jelly Beans. He's trying to retreat away with the Master's Call, but Trill is right on top of him. Leg sweep, trying to go for the kill here in game 1. Is Absturge ready? Drops the Guardian Angel. Big heals incoming, but a bit of an overlap with the Blessing of Protection. The defense is slim now for the Golden Guardians. Sidu with a preemptive sacrifice here, I believe, on crowd control, breaking himself up. But now they're swapping to Sidu. Can they need Divine Shield here if they want to stay in the game? Can they get Divine Shield from Sidu?
Oh.
They're so close to getting it. Just a bit more damage. Not enough damage. Sidu going to hold on to the Divine Shield. Of course, flexing that Draenei racial.
Yeah, and he did have the save by the light as well, so both those a huge factor in him surviving and not having to use that Divine Shield. Holds on to that precious cooldown. 4 minutes into the game. Mind control from Absturge onto Trill, just trying to slow down the pressure a little bit. Mez rolls over, throws in a Mind Freeze just to shut that down. Another mind control, though. Now on to Mez. They're trying to just buy some time. Sidu tries to sit down for a drink while Absturge is throwing in these shenanigans to recover a little bit of mana. It's about even for both of these healers. Both Absturge and Sidu have been doing a good job managing it so far, but Jelly Beans gets hit with a huge damage and also gets stopped. At the same time, Trill taking quite a bit of damage. Another mind control on the anti-magic zone, so trying to negate that defensive cooldown. A swap now onto Sidu. WizK is all over the place with Jelly Beans just really pressuring OTK away. But now it is OTK's time to get aggressive here on Jellybeans. The grapple weapon comes in. Absurge is positioned very far away. Might be sitting down for a drink. Jellybeans just dancing around the map with the Blessing of Freedom in order to buy Absurge a little bit of time to recover some mana, but OTK is really looking to punish that decision.
Yeah, and Jellybeans had the power infusion as well as the sacrifice there from WizK. So Jellybeans doing a great job there, just staying alive together with his teammates. And now here comes a big setup. They get Absturge this time around. The snowball is bouncing. There's the triple. WizK though saving the day right there with the Sanctuary. Beautiful plays there once again from WizK. This guy has been so important so far in this matchup. There's a mind control now by Absturge. They're mind controlling back here. Big hit of damage there from WizK. Looking to try to close out the match here in game number 1. We're just hitting 2% dampening. Sidu has been able to recover a lot of mana, but there's a lot of pressure on the map right now. Jellybeans now as well dropping dangerously low. The Guardian Angel trades out from Absturge. Absturge as well quite low on HP here. He's going to channel out the Divine Hymn, and that's going to keep everybody alive here, hopefully for him. And now Sidu getting swapped to here as well. Saved by the Light is going to proc there as well, and that's going to be enough there. They didn't even need to use the Drainade Racial there, Sid.
All right, let's see if Gift of the Nar was going to save OTK in game number 1. It's been a tight race here, but Absurge is falling behind on mana. Can they keep it going? Absurge is max ranging Sidu. Sidu wants to go for a Hammer of Justice. He's trying to get in position. Is he going to get the hammer here? Jellybeans is in position for a freezing trap, pushing them away, but now they grip Absurge into a double blind, triple blind. Nice play. Absurge getting swapped to it. Looks like he's going to trinket out of the stun lock, try and stabilize Jellybeans with the Apotheosis. Great timing on the cooldowns by Absurge, trying to even it out here, fishing for mind controls and avoiding the Hammer of Justice from Sidu. But now with no Medallion, he is susceptible to a swap. No Guardian Angel as well. Let's see if OTK decide to engage on that swap opportunity. Jellybeans, Ring of Peace, bouncing it back into the fight, disengages in the opposite direction. Jellybeans is kiting like a god. Swap over to Sidu here by the Golden Guardians, trying to pull a miracle swap. Can they get the Divine Shield? They do! Golden Guardians stay in it.
Yeah, they definitely do, but there was a big overlap. Both Absurge and WizK used their trinket in that last exchange, so that overlap could end up costing them the game, or at least the Divine Shield from WizK on this next setup. OTK definitely not out of the woods yet. Also, a lot of pressure on both these teams. 11% dampening at this point of the game. Absurge getting cleaved down, trying to get away, using the Fade. WizK just positioning very far away, trying to throw in some off-heals. We see WizK do this quite a bit against these cleave setups. Just try to utilize that Blessing of Freedom, try to play kind of a range game to avoid taking as much cleave damage as possible. He's been doing a good job, but here it is, the double leg sweep. WizK there with the Blessing of Sanctuary, frees Absurge from the crowd control, and they needed crowd control on WizK. If they had got that double stun with a Hammer of Justice also on WizK, that could have been a complete game changer.
Yep, that would have been the Divine Shield for sure from WizK right there, but mana now starting to even out here between Sidu and Absurge. Despite Sidu having that big lead, he's been spending a lot more mana trying to out-heal Jellybeans here on that Hunter. Stun onto Sidu. Sidu trinkets, but here we go. Big stun combo.
Oh!
Jellybeans gets the aspect of the turtle there barely in time, and what was that Guardian? I'm not sure. Jellybeans actually has no pet right now. This is a dangerous situation for the Golden Guardians. He just uses aspect of the turtle. I don't know what he can do to even get that pet back in the game. And a Beastmaster without his beast is not very much of a master. Isn't that right, Sid?
I think it's over for him. He's not going to get any damage out here. He can't even escape. WizK Divine Shields to try and save him, but they can't do anything. They're stacked up, and OTK are merciless going after Jellybeans here. There's nothing left to recover. He will fall. OTK pull off game 1. And look at this situation. Sidu's out of mana. He's got no Divine Shield. If they had if Guardian Angel was on the pet instead of Jellybeans, I mean, Golden Guardians might have been able to pull this off. Bit of a devastating defeat in game 1 here, but they got to pull it back.
All right, that game number 1 victory going to OTK here in this best of 5 elimination series. Golden Guardians already in their 2nd series of the day, and they've yet to get a single map win. So looking very, very rough on the side of Golden Guardians, but we can take a look into that first game, break down how that all went down, how OTK secured that victory from game number 1. Zico.
Yeah, we're going to see what they ended up doing here. So Absurge, paralyzed. There's the Guardian Angel. So at this point, Jellybean's pet is not dead, but it's dying right there. You can still see it attacking Mez right there. But he was trying to res it at this point already, no? We'll see, we'll see. I think it just died right there. So it's no longer hitting Mez, and Jellybean's here just running around without a pet. What is he gonna do? He's trying to res it, but I don't think he can do anything to get that pet back. If there's one comp that can interrupt you multiple times over, it's gonna be Windwalker DK. You know, paralyze and blinding sleet and 2 kicks and ring of peace and grips, and there's no way he's gonna get that pet unless he has Aspect of the Turtle. And the fact that if they used the Guardian Angel instead of the Aspect of the Turtle, I don't know if that was possible, but if they could have done that instead, maybe they could have got the pet back, and that could have been good. Or if they used Guardian Angel on the pet instead, like Sid mentioned, that could have also, because they were in the game for sure up until that happened. Up until the pet dying, I would say Golden Guardian were looking pretty good so far.
Well, given how that first game went then, Zico, do you feel like, I mean, we said it before, but is this going to be a game 5, do you think? I mean, that these two teams are very close.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction was 3-2. I'm going to stand by that. OTK just got the blind pick here as well, so they're looking like they're on track to do that.
Okay, well, let's get that draft process started, get that map pick out. It's Golden Guardians map choice. They did lose that first game, so OTK now is going to have to be blind locking in that composition. Supatis, do you feel like that is a tough decision here within this series, or what do we think?
No, not for OTK. I think OTK have a pretty clean line through this. I don't really feel like they're going to need to swap. They can beat both comps that Golden Guardians have, the Ret Hunter and the Shadow Priest Rogue, with this. It's really up to the Golden Guardians. That game looked really close. Like, I don't think they should switch. I think it's going to be these comps back and forth. If Golden Guardians somehow win like 2 in a row, then maybe Sam comes out in the last game if it's a blind lock Ret Hunter. But that's not my prediction. I think this probably ends up being like 3-1 OTK.
3-1 OTK. Okay. Okay, well, let's see what they decide to do with that first map. Depending on where we go then, Ven, what do you think the Golden Guardians needs to change from that first game?
Well, easier said than done, but you just can never let the pet die, basically, if you mismanage that at all. But it can be really difficult when you're at the point of basically no return, you've got no mana, you've got no cooldowns. That can inevitably happen, and once it does, it's just there's too many things that can stop you. I mean, the Delirium, the Heartstop Aura, you have Grip, you have Paralyze, you have Stuns. You basically have 20 different things to stop Jellybeans from rezzing his pet, and without his pet, that Beast Mastery specialization not going to be super effective. So definitely a tough spot for the Golden Guardians to be in, but there was a lot of signs of life for them in that game. It seemed like most of their pressure came from actually making really good swaps onto Sea-Doo. So I think if Sea-Doo's charging out into the middle of map and looking for crowd control on Absterge, I think they really have to try to punish that, because there was a lot of times where Sea-Doo was just kind of running around in the open, basically forcing Absterge to run away, and they had a little bit of a mind game of, okay, well, he wants to Hammer of Justice me, I'm going to try to pre-fade it. Okay, well, I faded a little bit too early, and he still has a Hammer of Justice, and now I'm still in kind of the awkward spot where I need to run away, and I just think they need to really not allow Sea-Doo to have that kind of freedom in the game on his Paladin. Golden Guardians, they're going to be going to Ruins of Lordaeron. OTK, an easy lock for them. I feel like for the rest of this series, this is the composition that they're likely to play. It just seems like that's what they have the most confidence in, and in this particular matchup, it works out well for them. Golden Guardians, they have some choices. I mean, they could bring in Jellybeans. They could play the same comp. It was a close game. That's probably their best option on paper, but I feel like Golden Guardians, if they lock that in again, this is what I think is going to happen. If Golden Guardians locks in the Ret Hunter again and lose, they're just going to default back to RPS and say, well, let's see if we can win by outplaying. And I think so. That's actually my prediction. What my prediction is Golden Guardians loses this game, and then they throw a Hail Mary and bring in the RPS, and then they like make it a nail biter, kind of 3-2 kind of thing. So I think that's what's going to happen. Is that's basically what always happens with this team.
Oh, I learned something, by the way. It's the couch. Sea-Doo bought a new couch. Apparently, he's very proud of it.
Oh, that is a nice couch.
Looks nice for taking naps on.
Sea-Doo. It does.
Oh.
Yeah. Go directly from streaming and gaming to sleeping. So.
Is that what you would do? You wouldn't even leave your room. You just go nap on that.
It's got a mini fridge under the desk.
I'm in my room right now, so yeah, I never leave my room, pretty much.
Jeez. Oh, you're out. You're really out in yourself, man.
Whatever, you know.
I feel like
I
I
can
feel
be
like
honest.
really
I can be honest with myself.
I feel like I have a really mean joke about the Sea-Doo's couch. You can just, if this keeps going like this for the Golden Guardians, it looks like a good seat for Golden Guardians to watch the rest of the tournament.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
That's messed up.
That's a little toxic, man. All right, we are getting that comp in here from Golden Guardians, and no changes. No changes either side. So, and they're going to be going to Ruins of Lordaeron, so they're ruining Supatee's line, but that's okay. See what they can do here. See if Golden Guardians can tie this one up. But I mean, if they lose this next game, it's going to be very, very difficult for Golden Guardians to recover here in this series. It is best of 5, like I said. So, does this change anything with this map, Supatees?
I mean, the last time, so Game 4 was Runes of Lordaeron here, the last time they fought, and I have a note saying that both teams were and barely any cooldowns when OTK won. So even this map was still just so close. Like, this is going to be close no matter what, every game. It could end up being 3-0 and not feel like it should have been 3-0. It could, like, this could go either way, really. So it's going to be stressful regardless. If you're watching this and you're a fan of the Golden Guardians, a fan of OTK, basically they're facing elimination. They're going to be in 4th if they lose this series. Every game is going to be like maybe 10, 12 minutes of just, oh my goodness, damage back and forth and predicting their incoming crowd controls. Like, they got to get ready for this. I'm glad they both got water. They're going to stay hydrated, posture check, make sure they're ready for this, because this is going to be a nail biter.
I mean, Sea-Doo was literally biting his nails like a couple of seconds ago. They just both look very, very stressed, and I don't blame them at all. I mean, Sid already mentioned it. They're facing elimination. They would be the first team in the North American region to be eliminated, so that definitely would not be good. But tough situation to be in. I mean, even if you're OTK and you're already one game up, there's a lot of games to go here. This really could go any way for this next game. I think we've got a delay going on again here behind the scenes. We don't know which team did take it, but I feel like you can bet, based on the fact of how long these two teams are taking to get ready into that game, both of them then are really feeling that pressure.
I mean, there's no better time to take a delay, in all honesty. I mean, the stakes are about as high as they can get. Loser of this goes out in 4th, which is, I mean, last in this top 4. So definitely not the position you want to find yourself in. Every single game increases your money and increases how cool your medal is. And if you're 4th, you don't get any medal. So it's definitely important that these teams are discussing, the strategies that they want to try to implement. Take as much time as they need within the rules, of course. And I don't know who's taking time, but I feel like both of them should take the maximum amount of time to discuss it, because just even little strategies, trying to discuss, what went wrong in the last game, what went right in the last game, little things you can improve on, could be the difference between winning and losing for both these teams.
Yeah, and the winner of this series still has another elimination round to get through. They're going to have to face either the winner of this next series. It's going to be either Cloud9 or Method NA. In your mind, Zico, which of these two teams is better prepared for that matchup?
Golden Guardians. I think OTK struggled against both of those squads a lot. I think Golden Guardians, well, they struggled against Cloud9 today, but they have beaten them in the circuit.
Right, they've struggled against every. They were losing to Method NA's Turbo. They got swept.
That's true, but I still feel like Golden Guardians. I still think Golden Guardians is better equipped to face both of them.
It's like a 10% higher chance than OTK.
Like if OTK has like a 25% chance of winning the best of 5, Golden Guardian has like a 29% chance, or 30%.
Repeating, right?
Of course.
99%.
Okay, well, let's take a look here at Sea-Doo's stats. We've got a 100% play rate. That one definitely makes sense. I got a 63% interrupt rate, so higher, not the highest that we've seen, of course, but not a very diverse healer this season. But I mean, I guess he is playing the good one, so it makes sense. He wouldn't really need to play much else.
It's interesting. He actually plays more Shaman than Paladin. Every time I hear Sea-Doo talk, he's always talking about like how Shamans aren't the greatest and et cetera, but he actually plays the Shaman more often than the Paladin. So That's curious. Absurge flexing on the Holy Priest, but kind of in the similar role. I mean, both Sea-Doo and Absurge kind of known for playing the multiple healing specializations. I mean, if you're a tournament healer at this point and you've had success for a long time, you almost guarantee that you're going to be playing more than one healer spec. So Absurge playing the Holy Priest, the Paladin, as well as the Shaman. And yeah, it's been looking good for him so far, as well as Sea-Doo making it into that top 4. But yeah, this Holy Priest seems to be very important for Absurge. Picking that up, giving them the option to play the BM Hunter, Retribution Paladin, Holy Priest. Even though they're not winning all their games with it, it still feels like if they didn't have this composition, then they would just get walked over by a lot of these top teams.
It's interesting that like the healers in the AWC Super Ts are like the best multi-classers. It's like for your team to be viable, you have to pick up like a number of different healing specializations.
Oh, Brain probably. Brain's having a good time on Holy Paladin.
Okay, that's Brain.
Has Brain even played something else? I actually want to stat. Do we have a Brain stat? I want to see like what has Brain played. I feel like it's 100% play rate, 100% Paladin.
Probably.
I've seen him practice on the ladder. He's practiced on the ladder as Shaman, but I'm pretty sure he's like 100% Paladin. So Brain's been making it work without multi-classing. Fnaubers, I think. Fnaubers was doing pretty well with only Druid. He played like a little bit of Holy Priest, but that seemed like a little bit of a desperate pick. Brain might be the only one that's only played one healer.
Well, maybe for that next series we've got coming up, we can take a look at Brain stats and see if it's really a 100% play rate on that Holy Paladin for him. But in the meantime, we've got this game number 2 starting very shortly. Runes of Lordaeron, OTK winning that game number 1 on the Grand. So let's see, do they put themselves on match point here, or is Golden Guardians going to turn this one around, bring us to a game 5 potentially?
I mean, we might be headed for a game 5 for sure, and we'll definitely have to see what goes down on Runes of Lordaeron. Golden Guardians looking to strike back. They're looking to put a point on the board, relying on Whiskey on that Retribution Paladin. Once again, really close game number 1, but it seems like every single time they play this comp, it's close games. So definitely going to have to bring their A game if they want to win this one. OTK locking in their Windwalker Death Knight once again. Game 2, Elimination Series. This lower bracket is going to be rough for both these teams.
Yeah, we got 2 Titan teams here in the lower bracket. Golden Guardians trying to tie us up here, trying to bring us to a game number 3 with a 1-1 score. But of course, OTK looking to increase their lead here, looking to try to take a whole clean sweep here in that lower bracket to face off against the loser of Method NA versus Cloud9. Going to see here, Jellybeans going to be the target of choice here. Trill already with the freedom. Mez is already all over him there with the Chains of Ice. And there we go, actually. It's going to be Golden Guardians pulling the first trigger. Double stun comes out. Mez responds with the anti-magic zone. And now they're swapping over to Sea-Doo here. He's not in the zone, but Whiskey gets stand up. Whiskey, Trinket, and Divine Shield in the opener. Golden Guardians so aggressive here in the opener. He trinketed the Blinding Sleet, and then he had to bubble now as well offensively. Or defensively, because he was being offensive on Sea-Doo. So this is disaster for Golden Guardians.
Do you think it's a bait? Do you think Whiskey's trying to bait them to go on Whiskey instead of Jellybeans? Triple Psychic Screen comes out from Absturge. Nice setup by Absturge here, but Mez counter engages with a double stun on the Dragon. Freezing Trap on Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo trinkets. Perfect for the Golden Guardians if they want to keep swapping in Hammer of Justice. If they can get a clean swap here on a Wings proc, Whiskey's baiting for the Wings proc, kiting out of range, doesn't want to stack up here. Jellybeans is taking a tremendous amount of damage, though. Trill is really laying in here in game number 2. Whiskey's trying to help out with some Flash of Light. Both healers just casting Flash heals to try and recover. Jellybeans gets Ring of Peace back into the fray, trying to get over towards Sea-Doo. I think they do want to swap to Sea-Doo. Whiskey's in position. Is he going to get there? Oh, Chains of Ice hits him on the corner. Sea-Doo knows he's the target. He's trying to get away and out of line of sight here on the tombstones on the side. Line of sighting Whiskey. Jellybeans pops the Bestial Wrath. Whiskey's coming in hot with that Blessing of Freedom. Where's the Hammer of Justice? Sea-Doo still running laps away. There's the hammers down onto Sea-Doo. He's going to immediately pop Divine Protection. Will it be enough? They paralyze Whiskey. That paralyzed from Trill. They stun Sea-Doo again. Maybe it's enough. They get the save by the light. They need to get a Divine Shield on the swap, but Trill intercepts again with a leg sweep onto 2 players, and Jellybeans has to trade Aspect of the Turtle.
Ring of Peace?
It's Golden Guardians.
No.
Is he going to get it? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to stop the res pet. Jellybeans gets his pet back. Golden Guardians are going all aggro here. It's costing them a ton of mana, a ton of cooldowns, and they're running out of time.
I mean, they really are. I mean, look at Absurd. Trill just going after the pet. If the pet goes down, it's over. Jellybeans with no aspect of the turtle. There is no way he'll be able to recover it. And Absurd is going to have to use an incredible amount of mana to keep it alive. At the same time, though, Sea-Doo taking a big hit of damage. No Save by the Light. Does not want to greet it. His team's in a prime position, but Sea-Doo known to play extremely greedy. Gets behind the pillar with this Holy Light, topping himself off. Now WizK under fire. Both the pets right now on Sea-Doo in kind of a safe position, but at the same time, WizK with no Divine Shield could be feeling the heat. They go after Jellybeans. No exhilaration, no aspect of the turtle, and this is basically the final check mark for OTK. They get the Guardian Spirit from Absurge out of the way. This next push from OTK is going to be absolutely devastating. What is Golden Guardians going to do to survive?
Maybe Abster's going to have to use his trinket, or potentially WizK here. Let's see who lands. What? Oh my goodness, Sea-Doo here getting blasted right there. WizK almost taking him down there with that Divine Toll, just making Mez completely cancel that Blinding Sleet push and just go back for defense there, making sure that Sea-Doo doesn't just get destroyed like that, forced to use his Divine Shield. They're going to be able to hold on to it. They also got WizK's trinket there on that Blinding Sleet. So WizK doing a lot of damage for Jellybeans right now, taking massive hits here. Blessing of Protection coming out from WizK. WizK kiting here with Jellybeans, spamming out the flashes of light here, basically acting like a secondary healer. But Jellybeans should be okay now, but he does have his pet still alive there as well. So things are looking okay for the Golden Guardians, but still it's just a matter of time here. Jellybeans now forced to use his Absurd, actually trinketing and dispelling him right there. And we're going to see the OTK squad still all over Jellybeans, still on 50% HP. Absurd sitting up for a drink there for a second. He's got the Guardian Angel. He's got the big Serenity there. He used the one charge. And it looks like Jellybean is going to recover while being disarmed. And now Sea-Doo also taking a little bit of damage there from WizK, but WizK looking to make his way back in. Blinding Sleet coming out. Absturge with a nice grip there onto Jellybeans, actually keeping him out of that blender of snowballs there in the midfield. But I think the pet was actually there bouncing the shield streak still onto WizK, so WizK still been taking a lot of damage here in that setup. And Sea-Doo, of course, just sitting down for a drink anytime he has the opportunity. He's been managing his mana so well so far.
Well, let's see if they can keep the lead here. OTK are in a good position to move to match points. WizK getting pulled into the fight here with that Abomination Limb, but a double stun comes out from the Golden Guardians. They need a huge hit of damage here. Sea-Doo trinkets, Mez lands the double, peeling off the attackers. Beautiful stuns from Mez throughout this entire series. Jellybeans has a lot of damage cooldowns currently active, but we're not seeing those cooldowns get any results at the moment. Onto Trill, it appears to be the main target. They've just been protecting Sea-Doo so well through the aggression of the Golden Guardians. Here comes a Chastise stun under the Divine Favor, purged off, nicely done by Absturge. Trill takes a big hit of damage while Sea-Doo was stunned up, but there's no follow-up, no freezing trap. Now Absturge is gripped in, he pre-fades the grip. Sick play by Absturge, immuning the stun and then fearing Mez and Trill off of Jellybeans. MVP Priest play here by Absturge. They're trying to get on top of Sea-Doo, but they walk up into a double stun. Chill Streak bounces, Jellybeans disengages away from it. Good positioning by the Golden Guardians, disrupting Mez's damage, but Swen is on the battlefield. WizK's going for the kill. He needs a big hit of damage here. He's not going to find it. Blocked by Mez yet again. This anti-magic zone getting tons of value. Sea-Doo picks himself back up, and look at Absturge, 0 mana, desperately channeling symbols of hope, maybe trying to get a drink at max range, but Sea-Doo's moving in. Sea-Doo's going for the game-winning crowd control. It could just be paralyzed onto Absturge. Sea-Doo's in position for follow-up. Jellybeans doesn't have anything here. WizK's interrupted on his support, but he doesn't get the crowd control. Absturge is able to trinket and avoid further crowd control. Trill now trying to get back on target and just win with damage. Jellybeans knocks Trill and Mez away, stunning Trill with the Chastise. Jellybeans goes for a Hail Mary Door of Shadows to try and get away here, but they're just all over him. WizK's trying to help out and throw some heals, but he's out of mana. They're just trying to stay alive. If Golden Guardians can somehow stay alive with nothing left, they could run Sea-Doo out of mana. They've stunned up Sea-Doo. They're going after Trill. Can they take down Trill? Trill turns it around with a double leg sweep. Tons of pressure. Absturge somehow, someway recovers. Absturge fades in to go for a desperate Psychic Scream, trying to fear the DPS and slow down the game. A freezing trap is sniped out by Jellybeans. Trill is the target, but he has Karma. That's going to redirect damage into Jellybeans. Absturge answers it with Guardian Angel. Jellybeans is desperately trying to disengage away. Freedom on the Abomination Limb. WizK spacing away. It looks like they are able to Sanctuary the Hammer of Justice. Good reaction by WizK, getting Jellybeans out of the stun. Now Trill is stunned up. Can they pull off the miracle here and blast out Trill in game number 2. This is a Fury fly, but this is the Avenging Wrath. Mez grips WizK out of line of sight. WizK was easily going to dunk Trill, but Mez grips him out of line of sight. After just trying to drink amidst all of the chaos, how much mana does he get? Not any. But suddenly Trill is still in trouble.
Trill!
I can't believe it! I can't believe it! The Golden Guardians pull it off. They stay alive and take game 2.
Beautiful defensive plays coming in from the Golden Guardians. Equally so, I mean, OTK, they did a good job of living, but Golden Guardians, they held on for such a long time. They evened out the mana, and honestly, it was a bit of a panic by OTK once Absurge went to sit down for a drink. Trill overextended with no defensive cooldowns, and Golden Guardians punished in a big way.
My goodness, tied up now, putting themselves back here in this series. Very well done to them in that last game, able to turn things around. Let's see if they can capitalize on that, win this next one, and put themselves on match point potentially here. But let's take a look at that game number 2.
Yeah, so I mean, it was looking dicey throughout the entire match, more or less. You know, Jellybeans, WizK, Absturge is always on the back foot here. Sidu getting plenty of drinks, but eventually Absturge able to kind of tie up his mana here with Sidu. And of course, that's one of the big win conditions here for OTK, aside from the one-shot setups. Here, Trill barely recovers. What an excellent grip there from Mez. Chains of Ice onto WizK. Trill recovers. And then here, this is where the misplay happens. Trill just charging in to stop that drink from Absturge. That should have been Mez. Mez has so many cooldowns to work with. And then Trill, of course, trinkets, teleports, but, you know, it's too little, too late. Sidu, a couple of seconds away left from getting his sacrifice back there. So they should have just let Lord Mez carry there, stop the drink, and then Trill could have jumped in a couple of seconds later. Sidu would have had his sacrifice to go with that Divine Shield. Things could have been better for OTK, but with that said, the Golden Guardians played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, definitely did. And we'll see what they do here for game number 3. Do we expect either of these teams to switch things up? Or I think you guys were already saying that we're probably going to see this same matchup throughout the rest of the series, though, right?
I think it's kind of likely. Like, I don't really know if OTK... Well, the thing is, there is a world where they bring in Sam-I-Am. It just doesn't seem like OTK has been really confident in that composition. But realistically, if they were confident in it, this is the perfect time to bring in Sam-I-Am, because Golden Guardians, they basically have no choice but to lock in the Ret Hunter. So they have to lock in the Ret Hunter Holy Priest, and if they do that, then OTK has the opportunity to lock in the Fire Mage, Windwalker Paladin, and that should be a really solid answer, I believe. But maybe not. I mean, maybe they just go with the cleave setup all the way, and it comes down to kind of just little things in the match, because it does seem like both these compositions have the opportunity to win, and whoever can just take advantage of those little situations, play a little bit better, is going to walk away with the series if it comes down to that.
Yeah, we did see OTK bring out Sam in that last series for one game. Unfortunately, they lost. They did swap off of him. He only has a 37% play rate on this team, so it would be cool to see him brought out here in this series right now. But we soon shall see. It's going to be that map choice coming up soon here. Any guesses on that, Super Tees?
Based on the last time these teams fought, they actually both prioritized small maps. So let's see, where do we see this going? When GG won, we went to Hook Point. So the OTK want these really small maps to try and make sure that Jellybeans can't kite. So Hook Point, I think. If OTK, it kind of depends what they want to do, right? If OTK want to set up Windwalker Mage, then I don't think they would pick a small map. But if they want to keep playing Windwalker Death Knight, then they're going to pick a small map, and that's going to basically tell the Golden Guardians what OTK are thinking. I think OTK might be changing. Sam might be coming off the bench.
Oh. Okay. Does Golden Guardians comm still work on this size map? I just like flinged my pen.
Windwalker. I feel like Golden Guardians are going to lock Shadow Priest Rogue blind.
Okay.
They could, yeah.
I'd love to see that.
I don't think they should, but they could.
I don't think they'll win, but I feel like that's what I feel like that's what they'll lock in.
Why don't you think that wins?
Because if they do, OTK will play Windwalker Death Knight. But it's basically Golden Guardians have to say, are we more afraid of playing Ret Hunter into Windwalker Mage, or are we more afraid of playing Shadow Priest Rogue into Windwalker Death Knight? That would be what I would imagine they're thinking right now. And this is a really bad map for a Ret Paladin, I think, against Windwalker Mage. So it's just it's a bad pick no matter what you do, and it's like which is the least bad of both of those choices.
Especially when you're facing elimination, it's a very, very scary decision to make. I think we have that.
Okay, they're
I like
adjusting
this. I like this.
Yeah,
They're
me too.
kind of just saying, OTK, what's going on with the 20% win rate Windwalker Mage? Let's see it then. It doesn't look that scary. Let's see
Yeah.
it, you know? So now this is what's really interesting, because like is OTK like kind of bluffing here? They're like, oh, we're gonna go big map, we're gonna go Windwalker Mage. You guys want to blind the rat? Well, now, yeah, we are gonna blind the rat. OTK, are you gonna lock in Windwalker Mage, or are you just gonna go with the DK Windwalker now on a big map? And did you just kind of mess your draft up here by giving us a big map and the same matchup?
You have to Windwalker Mage. Sam has to come in.
I think they should.
It's-
I don't understand why they don't have the confidence to do it, but I don't know.
It's actually pretty. It's actually pretty scary being.
He's not coming in. They were
Yeah.
bluffing.
Yeah, they were
Well,
bluffing hard.
There's no way OTK was bluffing. Golden Guardians called a bluff. Like, there's no way you're gonna pick Sam.
100%
They don't
the
pick
right move.
Sam.
That's the thing. When you have a comp that's winning like this, you just lock it until you get forced off of it. Don't overthink it. You won, you lock it in again, and you see what happens.
So this game is in Golden Guardian's favor then.
Are Golden Guardians gonna win this now? I thought for sure OTK were like Windwalker Mage. This Ret Paladin is gonna just be having a nightmare time trying to hit anything.
Wait,
But they didn't. Now it's a
They're-
big map and Absurge can drink.
they lost on Nagrand. Like, let's not forget the history of this series. OTK
Yeah.
won on Nagrand on the
Okay.
bigger map. They actually lost on the smaller map. And let's also not forget that Golden Guardians picked a small map intentionally against Windwalker Death Knight. They went to Ruins. That's what they wanted. So maybe the small map isn't. Maybe the large map isn't as good for the Golden Guardians as we're making it seem, because they didn't pick a large map when they wanted to play this matchup.
I guess we'll just have
I'm
to
just
see
saying.
what they pick. Yeah, no,
I just don't
it's
know
a fair
why it
point.
wouldn't be better.
It's a fair point. But, well, it's like when we look at RMP, we're like, oh yeah, no, RMP, they probably want to go on a small map. But actually nowadays, they want to be playing on the larger map. So, I mean, there could be a reason for why OTK feels like this is a better map. But I think what's going to really show it is when it's the Golden Guardians' turn to pick and they pick a map. Because Ruins, I agree, it's kind of a small map. It's kind of an aggressive map. But it is, it's not a hook point. Like, if they had locked in hook point, I would have been like, okay, they want small maps, But when they lock in Ruins, it's like, okay, well, they want specifically Ruins because Ruins is just that map. Like, it's a very unique style of map. So I don't know. I think we just need a few more data points to determine like which comp actually gets favored by the matchup, by the map.
Yep.
But on paper, I think like if I was on the Golden Guardians, I would think that the big map favors me. But maybe when you're playing the matchup, it's different.
I just like speaking from a Windwalker's point of view. If you have like a Ret Paladin being like a Terminator, a holy Terminator, and just running at you the entire game, like having a map where you can actually kind of maneuver around, that's your only defense, right? Like the thing that keeps you alive is your Transcendence and getting behind pillars and actually pillaring when Seedu's in crowd control. And I feel like that was kind of the missing ingredient for them on Ruins of Lordaeron. So that could be the thought process. Oh, look, it's our friend.
Ah, the hummingbird.
Oh, good to see him again. All right, game number 3 started here. We're tied up. Let's see what OTK can do here on Ashemanes.
All right, they're just chilling at the pillar. Golden Guardians are going to be the aggressors. Jellybean sneaks in with a double Door of Shadows freezing trap. Jellybean's crowd controlling the whole team here, setting 3v1 on Trill. Mez gripping Jellybeans in, trying to help out Trill in that anti-magic zone, but Absurge grips Jellybeans away from the engagement. Mez grips him right back. It's a game of just trying to keep Jellybeans next to Mez. Trill survives the opener, but now it looks like they're swapping to Seedu with the remainder of the damage. Whiskey breaks out of the paralyzed. Big damage incoming on Seedu. Divine Protection saved by the light going to be used at the same time. and Sidu manages to recover through the first engagement here by the Golden Guardians. Now Golden Guardians switching back to Trill. I really like this by the Golden Guardians. Just switch targets constantly. Make this impossible for Sidu to try and anticipate who's going to be the target. Trill mind controlled for a moment at low health, trying to pause the engagement. Now Jellybeans spacing out and trying to use the big map. Upsurge gets interrupted on a heal on their way over to Jellybeans, but they can't connect to Jellybeans at the moment. He's just maxing them out on the far side of the map. Sidu's in position, gets crowd control onto Upsurge, but Trill and Mez still look like they're going after the pet. I think they're trying to kill Jellybean's pet at the moment. We can't see its health. I would imagine Jellybeans it's going to be a nightmare time if his pet goes down here, but if they keep tunneling the pet, they're going to take a lot of damage as well. If they can just keep it alive, it's chasing Trill around the corner, and I wonder if OTK get baited into trying to hit the pet too much, and Golden Guardians can pull off a win.
It definitely seems like OTK is playing this one a lot more conservatively, you could say, or a lot more scared in this match. They're not playing nearly as aggressive. Sidu actually trying to push forward to deny a drink, but Abster sits down and completely recovers his mana, and that's what happens when you kind of have a lack of pressure. Now Sidu actually getting swapped too, and I really feel like this is scary for OTK, because the Golden Guardians with that Avenging Wrath, when Beastral Wrath is available for Jellybeans, that damage can be completely overwhelming and really scary for OTK to deal with. I really feel like when that cooldown, or when those cooldowns are out of the way, OTK, they have to make a big push and try to get some pressure for their team.
Yeah, we're going to see if they can make that push right now. Jellybean's actually kiting towards the room. And, I really, if you're the Hunter or the Windwalker in this matchup, you definitely like this map. That's pretty much where we can leave it at right now. Going to see a stun here onto Sidu. Can they get the Freezing Trap? Of course, Jellybeans is going to land the Freezing Trap. They get themselves the Touch of Karma right there from Trill. And, of course, Trill also going to have that Anti-Magic Zone here. Abomination's Limb. Gripping in WizK right there, but they're not able to get a grip on the other members here, and as a result, they're not able to do that big setup. They're still trying to set that up right now. WizK, I always want you guys to be paying attention to WizK. Anytime they're going for these Blinding Sleet setups, you can see WizK is never stacking. He doesn't want to get Blinding Sleeted into that leg sweep, because if he does, he has to use his Trinket, but if he stays far back like this, now he can just use his Sanctuary. Now he's going to have to Trinket and use the Sanctuary here, potentially if there's a stun. Doesn't look like it. They just go with the Blinding Sleet, Snowball combo right there. Not too much pressure here. And it's actually going to be Sidu taking most of the pressure here. Jellybeans doing a lot of work right there. Now paralyzed onto Abster. Sidu tops himself behind the pillar. Jellybeans just trying to get distance here between himself and the melees. And so far, it's looking good. Abster with the Guardian Angel here, keeping Jellybeans nice and safe. Jellybeans now trying to stop the drink of Sidu there. Trill still taking a lot of damage here, but Sidu has full mana, should be able to keep him alive. Double stun coming out. Sidu now going to force to use his Trinket here. Nice triple Syndragosa there from Mez as well, shutting down that offense. But Jellybeans does snipe the trap here, but they don't have a stun for Trill. They don't have a stun for Sidu. This is just the trap that they was going to use in that setup. Just kind of throwing it there since everything is on DR anyway. And they're just going to get a little bit of extra pressure because of that.
We see Mez trying to stop Absturge from drinking. Jellybeans tried to slow him down, but it looks like they prevented the drink. And Mez has really been the key player for OTK in this game. He's playing goalie. He blocks the kill on Sidu every single time. He's saving the Blinding Sleet. He's saving the Syndragosa stun, and he uses it perfectly to stop damage. Otherwise, Sidu would just be on the floor. We see a setup on the Trill here, but once again, Mez Blinding Sleets, both WizK and Jellybeans, totally stops him from doing damage. Mind control, though, on Trill. Hodge on Sidu. Swap over to Sidu. Are they ready? Do they have anything for him here? He walks out into the fight, but takes a huge hit. He's likely going to get pushed back. They're trying to keep Sidu away from Absturge, but Sidu is pushing through the pain, trying to close the distance. They grip Absturge in with the Abomination Limb. Absturge going to Greater Fade and Psychic Scream the DPS. And this has been an adaptation on his part as well during OTK's aggression to just Psychic Scream the damage dealers. And it's been doing wonders. It really, I think, was one of the key factors to winning Game 2. Might be a key factor to winning Game number 3 here. Avenging Wrath is up. Big damage for WizK. Trill is on the run, and they're forced to go on Mez. Mez is now on the run as well, trying to stay next to Sidu, using a Sacrificial Pact to try and get a bit of healing on himself while Sidu is in a trap. And WizK is still just laying in damage on Sidu while Trill is playing far away from the combat. How is Absturge going to intercept here? Sidu is stunned up. Trill is stunned up. It's Game 2 swing match. If Golden Guardians can take the swing match away and move to match point, it's going to be critical in navigating to victory here. But Anti-Magic Zone protects Sidu. during that big cooldown timing. Now Sea-Doo is charging in as Absurge is going to get the greater fade here on the crowd control. Sea-Doo's getting pushed back by Jellybeans, so now Jellybeans is gripped in. He gets gripped back out by Absurge. Sea-Doo moves up. Greater fade gets baited. Sea-Doo baits the greater fade, but now he's trapped. He can't land the blinding light. Is Trill going to be in trouble here? Avenging Wrath procs. What are you going to do, Trill? Fist of Fury, trying to parry the attacks, trying to protect himself from the pets. Mez is getting clobbered as well. He's going to have to trade anti-magic shield. Karma out from Trill. Sea-Doo is trying to chase down Absurge still, finds the blinding light. So they have follow-up crowd control. Jellybeans is getting smacked, disengaging away. His pet went down! Oh no, his pet is dead! He needs to get a res, but he doesn't want to use Aspect of the Turtle unless he needs to here. Can Jellybeans sneak away and get a res pet? Triple crowd control. He's trying to res it, but it's such a long cast. And to bring up pieces in the back pocket of Trill, I don't even think Aspect of the Turtle guarantees that he gets it. He Aspects of the Turtle, where's the ring of peace? Does Trill have it? He has it! Oh no! Jellybeans revive pet! Is he gonna get it? No! He gets shut down, and there's nothing for him to get this pet alive! Golden Guardians, I mean, their damage is just gonna fall. They bop for it! The bop! No, he gets gripped! He gets gripped on the bop! Do they have another one? Abomination Limb on the bop! Is he gonna do it again? Mind Control, Mind Freeze. They've used everything to get this pet back alive, but they just can't. And Jellybeans is gonna do 0 damage until he casts Revive Pet successfully.
There's a new game, stop the res. That's the new objective for OTK. Just attack Jellybeans the entire game and just stop him from getting that pet off. Double leg sweep comes in from Trill. They still have the interrupts. Is there a Spearhead Strike? Oh. Mind Freeze by Mez. How many times can they stop this pet? This is just burning through Absurge's mana. They're just burning through, getting 0 pressure. At the same time, though, Trill almost getting taken down. WizK on a solo mission, saying, hey, if you're distracted with this pet, I'm actually just going to outright kill you. Luckily, Trill does survive. A trap now on Sea-Doo. Jellybean's still in so much trouble, he just can't really help out his team. He gets the crowd control, though, but he's on the run, and there's no turtle. There's no exhilaration. There's no mana for Absurge. OTK is looking good one. They just have to. They're looking good in this one. They just have to continue to shut down this pet. This got to be so frustrating for Jellybeans.
Yeah, if they just keep stopping the res, I don't think Jellybean is going to be able to do anything here. Absurge working with about 2% left on his mana bar. There's the triple-double. Syndra goes to Absurge looking for the heals, but it's not going to be enough. Touch of Death is going to come through, and Jellybean's just going to die because, you know, the pet.
Look at Sea-Doo.
Sea-Doo's so happy.
Sea-Doo looks like lighting the res pet, just perfectly lining up every interrupt for 2 minutes. Jellybean's just sitting there like, revive pet, no. Revive pet, no. Revive pet, no. Revive pet, no.
Turtle, revive pet, nope.
Nope.
Bop, revive
I
pet?
feel like there was a way. If they had like Psychic Scream, if they timed all their crowd control at the same time with a bop, like, I mean, it would have been like absolutely crazy how they'd have to calculate where everything needed to go. But I feel like there's a way. There's got to be a way.
There is a way. You invite Chun-Li to your roster, have him play the Hunter. That's the only one who could have res the pet in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Actually, dispelling the disease and then Feign Death Camo sounds legit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
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 Like fear DPS, dispel disease, disengage, Feign Death Camo, and then run away and res it somewhere.
Could work. Yeah, I think it's easier said than done.
No, he's playing Camo.
Is it what?
Easier said than done.
I think it's easier said than done, honestly. That's a really tough spot for Jellybeans to be in. You have Trill, Mez, and Sea-Doo just dialed into who's going to be shutting you down. Your mobility's limited. Like, that is a rough spot to be in, and that's a frustrating way to lose, quite honestly. So, for the Golden Guardians, they're really going to have to shake off that loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are very, very close to elimination here so far, and it is got to be a very stressful position to be in. But let's break down that last game here.
All right. So right now, Jellybeans is trying to res his pet. Gets gripped. He's trying to knock them away so he can res his pet. He's trying to get distance so that he can go and res his pet right now. There's a double fear that's potentially going to allow him to res his pet. Look at this. Nobody can stop it. JK. They're going to use the blinding light there that they normally use to CC the healer to stop the pet res. And he's going to get a couple of heals here from WizK. And then here is just a massive, massive chunk of damage. He gets no mana left on his priest. Gets stunned there as well. And there's When the Tiger, Touch of Death. WizK bubbles, but just not enough. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game. And I really think the biggest thing about this is just the fact that you can Ring of Peace while you're resing the pet, while you're in that aspect of the turtle. Like, it's like a turtle. He's in his shell, but the ground under him, if it moves, it's still going to do a little bit of DPS there. So that's what happened with the Ring of Peace, and it stopped the pet res, and and then he came out of the turtle, and then he got kicked by everybody.
Difficult. Golden Guardians, they are going to be choosing their map here. OTK going to lock in their composition. Golden Guardians, now do we feel like they're going to swap off? I feel like they're having a rough time with this composition.
Do they go for it? Is the prophecy coming true? The Hail Mary, RPS, last-ditch effort? I could see it working. For some reason, I could see it working, but I don't know if they'll do it. I mean, it's just they've lost 2 games now to the pet going down, and it seems like OTK is a little bit more dialed into that. It's like, oh, well, you know what? We play a normal game. Oh, the pet's right here? Okay, well, we'll take that down, and now all of a sudden it's like it's almost an automatic. I don't say it's an automatic win, but it's pretty much an automatic win. Like, once you get those pets down, there's no aspect of the turtle. You have Ring of Peace for aspect of the turtle. I just don't know how they could set it up. If they do get it off, it's like a 2% chance they'll be able to recover the pet. And, I don't know if Golden Guardians is going to be able to rely on that. So maybe you bring in WizK on the Shadow Priest. Maybe you bring in Peekaboo. This is kind of the last chance for Golden Guardians. If they don't win these next 2 games, they're going to be eliminated.
Yep, this is their this could potentially be the last game that we do see them here in the finals. So if you're a fan of Golden Guardians, they need to win this game. You do not want them to drop any more games because this could be the last time that we see them. So they've got to figure something out, whether it's making this current composition work or somehow switching things up and turning things around in their favor. We're going to be seeing what they do decide to choose in favor for their map choice very shortly here and how OTK decides to respond. But I mean, this comp for them is looking very good. Frost Death Knight, Windwalker, especially compared to the last time that we saw them play it. It's definitely working out in their favor quite a bit more within this matchup. And it looks like Super Tees, we are going to Tiger's Peak. And look at this. Look at Jelly. He looks frustrated.
I mean, anyone is when you're trying to res your pet. It's like back in the day when you target a Warlock pet too, and the entire game was just stopping the Warlock from getting their pet. Like that's like the most tilting point in the game. So
yeah,
I'm a bit surprised they didn't pick a map with a Z-axis. I feel like picking a map like Robodrome and knocking away with the explosive trap might have worked all right for them. For just getting distance on Jelly Beans, you get to use Life Grip as well. This is just a neutral map. It's not going to be super favored to anything. And I think they're really debating it. Like, do we want to run the risks? Like, this Rat Hunter, I think it's probably a higher % chance to win, but it's instant loss if the pet dies. Or do we just do it? Do we go back to, do we get Peekaboo in here? Is it time for Peekaboo? I mean, maybe the chat can help out the Golden Guardians here. Who do you want to see, Peekaboo or Jelly Beans? What is this? This could be their last game for Season 1. Who needs to come in right now? I'm curious to see what you guys think.
I feel like Jelly Beans is I mean, they're all crowd favorite, but I feel like I always see like people getting really, really hyped up when we see Jelly Beans.
Yeah, but have we seen Peekaboo today? We did 1 game, right? I think we've seen him 1 time.
Yeah, they played it. Yeah, they played him versus Cloud9.
Yep. So we've seen Peekaboo play 1 time today. Maybe we want to see a 2nd time. I mean, Golden Guardians, they're taking all the time they can because, I mean, it's do or die, right? You are going to be eliminated if you don't win these next 2 games. That is not the position you want to find yourself in, and they are! I'm going to be honest. I'm proud of my prediction. Golden Guardians, they're bringing it in. The RPS, the last-ditch effort. Jellybean's going to be going to the bench. They're going to be bringing in Peekaboo on the Assassination Rogue, WizK on the Shadow Priest, and Absurge on the Shaman. And you can bet, I mean, when we've seen this in the past, time and time again, it's the Golden Guardians with this composition against OTK, and they just train down Trill the entire game. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think this game is going to come down to if OTK can weather the storm, if Trill can play a really good game defensively, I think they're going to walk away with this one. But if Golden Guardians, they get the momentum, I feel like they definitely can win.
Okay, Golden Guardians switching things up at the last minute here when it really, really counts. This is their last chance here to stay in this series, to stay in the tournament. Tournament lives are on the line right now as we head into Tiger's Peak. If the target is Trail on OTK. What do we want to see OTK do to try and defend themselves from that pressure, Zico?
A lot of it is going to just come down to how they trade their cooldowns. In general, they want to line up, things like the anti-magic zone with the vendetta. They want to, not overuse their cooldowns, not panic with the smoke bombs and things like that. Trill just going to have to balance his offense and defense a lot. Anytime that kidney shot is ready, he's going to have to run. And then as soon as that kidney shot is off cooldown, he needs to get back in there and try to build up pressure with Maz. Of course, for OTK, it's going to be all about those setups. It's all about those triple blinding sleet, triple Syndragosa, snowball bouncing, leg sweeps. It's all about that. And for the Golden Guardians, it's when we did see this, I think actually they won a game with the RPS. I think they played with the Absturge playing the spammable hex, like the no cooldown hex. And it was a lot of just hexes on Sea-Doo and kidney shots on Trill. And that's how they were able to get the pressure.
And the thing about series like this as well, you have these really close games, these really long games that are, very, very stressful because you're facing getting knocked out of the tournament. And then the thing with this series is even if you win, you still have to play another match. You still are potentially facing elimination. You're still going to have to face either Cloud9 or Method NA. So no matter who wins this series, they're going to have to very quickly turn that around, put all that exhaustion from this series behind them and do yet another one to try and make them put themselves back into the grand finals and keep themselves in this tournament. So no matter what happens here, they still got kind of a long day ahead of them. So, it's very, very important in times like these to sort of keep that mental fortitude, keep a good attitude, no matter how those series do go, and just kind of, keep looking ahead, because exhaustion in tournaments like these, when you have series, in a row like that, are probably also very, very difficult then.
Oh, there's really no question about it. Fatigue definitely sets in, and that's why you have to kind of just pace yourself. It can be mentally exhausting just playing the most intense series of your life, followed up by the next most intense series of your life, or an even most intense series. So it's just, it is a lot of pressure, and it can come down to fatigue. So you really just have to stay focused. Not an easy thing to do, but I think if you can kind of just calm down, make sure you drink lots of water, all that good stuff. And this is where all that preparation really comes into play, right? I mean, these players, they practice so much. Sometimes they're playing 8-9 hours a day. So they can kind of just go back to that mode, even though these games are a little bit more intense than just, queuing up on the ladder. You just got to kind of maintain that attitude. I mean, we can take a look at the stats for Peekaboo. He's going to get tagged in on that assassination rogue. Similarly to Waz. I mean, we heard Waz in his interview yesterday talking about how really doesn't like playing the subtlety rogue, even though sometimes his team forces them against the warriors. He played a bit of assassination, and Peekaboo, I would say, was kind of the first rogue to do it as well, even before the buffs, opting to play the assassination rogue with their rogue mage paladin, and it really fits their playstyle with this RPS. It's a lot of just overall damage and pressure, and he does it. He's one of the best to do it, so I'm excited to see him perform in this next one.
Can also take a look at Trill here. 100% win rate. This dude is always in every single game. It's either Trill or Mez, or Trill or Sam I Am. So definitely very important person here on this team. OTK, 44% win rate on that Windwalker. He's tried Demon Hunter a couple of times. I think actually only one game in Shadowlands. Is that right? I think when we saw the OTK's composition, it was one comp that they had played with that Demon Hunter, and they did lose that one. So definitely quite a bit different than we've seen him in the past. I think they played it probably Demon Hunter the most in Legion. They were playing that a lot with the DK.
Yeah, Legion and the Battle for Azeroth. There's a lot of Demon Hunter from Trill, and actually Sam played Demon Hunter as well.
Oh yeah,
Mez too.
They've all played Demon Hunter on this team.
And in a different world, different universe, we could potentially see, triple Demon Hunter coming in from OTK. It's probably not going to happen, but
triple the hunt.
A man can dream.
Somebody needs to make like a triple DPS tournament.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Those are fun, actually. I did one of those. Was it Legion?
Really?
I did that. I did one of those. Yeah, for fun. They're actually really fun.
It sounds fun to watch too.
Ret Paladin is super broken, but
I bet it is.
It's really fun.
I mean, so it's interesting for OTK. They've kind of like just looking at the different stats. I'm curious to see like a Sam card as well. He's not playing in this next one. If we can see Sam stats, I'd be interested to see that because I mean, Mez just playing Death Knight, Trill essentially just playing the Windwalker Monk, and Sea-Doo primarily playing the Paladin, a little bit of Shaman as well. And that's kind of just been what they've been running for the majority of this year, and they've gotten a lot of success with it, but. Here and now, going up against the RPS, they just have one more task. They just need to take down this RPS. I think it's a good matchup for them, but if they make any mistakes, I guarantee you Golden Guardians is going to capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm. I also want to like take note of how long both of these teams are taking in between games. Like, we're not just talking for fun. Like, we're waiting on the players to be ready. They're really taking their time before they head into these games, talking everything out, talking out strategy, making sure they're making those right decisions within the broadcasted.
Man, didn't you used to do that when you played with Sea-Doo? If you won a game, you'd like walk off stage and like let the other team like ruminate in their loss a little bit before we were going into the next game. I swear that used to be a strat. If you won, you took a break and let the other team deal with their own little internal struggles. But look at this, Golden Guardians starting things off with tons of damage on match point. They can't afford any more defeats in this series, otherwise they will be out of the tournament. They do manage to net diffuse magic from Trill. They still have Vendetta. Hex is on Mez. I am curious to see how Absurge uses Hex. I think Absurge is key to victory in this series. And look at this crowd control. They are really pushing Trill back.
Yeah, Trill is going to be pressured in this matchup. This is exactly what I was talking about, but the double leg sweep comes in. How is Absurge going to handle playing the male Panda, looking for a Hex? Unfortunately, not able to find it. Trill has already used his Trinket. He's used his Touch of Karma. He's used his Diffuse Magic. CD used a Blessing Protection earlier on the blind. So Golden Guardians are quickly getting cooldowns out of the way from OTK, and Trill is really pressured in this matchup so far. Golden Guardians are not looking too bad. A huge hit of damage on WizK, but he recovers, and now kidney shot on Trill. A lot of trouble. Big burst damage. Psychic Core on Sea-Doo. Golden Guardians getting very aggressive in this match.
Yeah, and Absurge is playing that Voodoo Mastery again. You can see Sea-Doo right now in a Hex. Absurge has the ability to just spam out those Hexes, but right now, Snowball's bouncing here onto WizK, forcing him into the dispersion. Absurge now channeling out the Fleshcraft here. He's got the Ascendance rolling right now. Sea-Doo has the Hammer of Justice. He's looking for it to get a Hex onto Mez this time, but pre-anti-magic zone right there by Mez. Not going to be lined up with the Vendetta though, but Trill definitely needed it right there. Had no cooldowns really to work with. Trill now with the Zwen here, looking to get aggressive. Absurge here trying to preemptively ground the Hammer of Justice right there, but Sea-Doo blinds him first, kills off the grounding, and then Hammer of Justice him, and now Peekaboo in a lot of trouble. We're going to trade out the Trinket, Cloak of Shadows right there. Trill is going to take that trade and immediately start kiting here. There's the Ring of Peace now towards Peekaboo. Trill just trying to buy some time to recover his HP, but there's the Kidney Shot. WizK teleporting in here, looking for the Psychic Horror. Can they find the Hex? That's the question here. Absurge not going to be able to find it just yet. He's looking for it, trying to fish, trying to land it, and he does land it there onto Sea-Doo. Overlapped with a Fear onto Mez here. 3 versus 1 for Trill. What is he going to do? Pre-Earthen Wall Totem here as well from Absurge, keeping Peekaboo nice and offensive, but a Disarm is going to be enough here together with that Touch of Karma to keep Trill nice and healthy. Now they have answers. Trill's going to have Trinket, potentially for the next Kidney Shot. Sea-Doo's going to have Blessing of Protection, as well as a Sacrifice here. Trill dropping quite low there. Save but Light's going to proc, and now Trill, look at his offensive cooldowns. He's got everything here. Serenity, Touch of Death, everything is ready. Leg sweep. He wants to go in and do a big setup here with Mez.
Oh, let's see if they can split up here. They need to stay far away from Mez. I love these Hexes. Absurge is absolutely farming here. This is what his team needed, but this is the final setup potentially of this series, and it's a triple stun! Triple stun out from OTK. Look at the devastation. All 3 members at 10% health. Absurge drops the Spirit Link, desperately clinging to life, trying to find an opportunity to even breathe. Dispersion comes up from WizK. Absurge has so much work ahead, but they're alive. They're still alive, and they're going for the kill on Trill. Sea-Doo trades the sacrifice, redirecting damage. Can Peekaboo stay alive a little bit longer? Can Absurge recover and continue to look for Hexes that they so desperately need? Hexes are coming in onto Trill. Heals are coming out. Fear on Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo bubbles out. He doesn't want to fall behind. Absurge in a paralyze. Golden Guardians survived the triple threat, and here comes a Kidney Shot onto Trill. No crowd control on Sea-Doo though. Finding a blind onto Absurge. Pressure onto WizK, pressure onto Peekaboo. Peekaboo gonna pop the feint and try and reduce some pressure. Greater Fade comes out from WizK. Golden Guardians are just trying to get their feet planted. If they can get planted and start getting the hexes that they were getting earlier on, they could still pull this off.
This is weapons of order from Trill, but he's getting smashed right now. Trades out the Karma. Such a crazy, intense game for both these teams. Paralyzed onto Absurge into a full hammer of justice. WizK's on the run. Trill and Mez are all over him, and he's going to get potentially crushed. And he does. OTK, what a close game that was. You have to take your hat off for Golden Guardians. They made OTK work for that one. Super close, but at the end of it all, it's going to be OTK advancing and Golden Guardians getting eliminated.
Golden Guardians had a phenomenal run this year, finishing in 4th place. Definitely can hold their heads up high here, leading with their backs against the wall, running